New York Giants fans, Big Blue Crew, welcome to New York Giants Full Access. To today's storyline, New York Giants offensive line major injury concerns. Should we be concerned? I'll let you know. Let's get full access.
Welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk.
All right, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access with yours truly, Big Pat Sports Talk. And today's Full Access, we're going to be talking about the injury-riddled Giants once again. Our offensive line has major injury concerns. Yes, we have major injury concerns along the offensive line again. And I know fans are very frustrated. You can look at the interview of Brian Dable. He seemed a little frustrated. Feliciano's in and out the lineup. Andrew Thomas got nicked up with his ankle. Let's see how that goes. Zudu is nicked up. We lost Marcus McKeithen. We lost Shane Lemieux to a toe injury. Matt Gano had to retire due to a neck injury. Prayers to his family. And we've just been having major injury concerns once again along our offensive line. And it's showing in practices. It's showing in the first preseason game. It shows. And yes, I do believe that we have a little bit of an offensive line concern. Now, I will not say that the offensive line played bad in the first preseason game. They actually played pretty well. And that's because they started out healthy. But when you lose health along the offensive line, that is a major concern because our depth has been totally decimated. We lost McKeithen. I'm not going to say we lost Azudu, but Azudu is injured. We lost Gano. He's injured. So we're dependent on people like Garcia, who was running with the third team, which was disappointing in the first place. And now we have injuries all along this offensive line, and I think it's showing in practice. I think Wink Martindale is sending those blitzes, and they're having a hard time picking them up because they're inexperienced. They haven't been playing together, and this hurts them going along with each other as far as getting chemistry with each other, learning how to pick up those stunts together, learning how to pick up those edge rushes together, knowing when to help each other, knowing when to knowing the blocking protections. Feliciano needs to be in there because he's the center. He's going to have to call out the blocking protections, and he's been in and out the lineup, whether it's due to hydration or a minor nick here and there. I don't think we could depend on Jamil Douglas to play the center role. I believe he's actually cut, to be honest with you, because he's been dominated every time he's been in the game. He's been dominated, not just beat. He's been dominated, and that's not a good thing. But we're gonna go ahead and go into the film room and look at this article stating about the injuries that's been going on. So let's go to the film room and check out this article on the Giants. So here's the report here. Giants training camp injury strike the last day of open practices to the fans. And they talk about the Giants as far as injury news. We did get some good injury news yesterday about Ojulari being able to come back um, and practice, which is going to be good because it's going to be good to see him and Kayvon Thibodeau on the field together. As you can see him there doing a lineman drill. We need him out there on the field. But as far as the bad injury news, Ellerson Smith and Jahad Ward had to leave practice, which is not good because we need all our people on the field. But Ellerson Smith and Jahad Ward went inside. Ellerson Smith, it looked like he twisted his ankle or hurt his foot on a defensive lineman drill in practice. They both have been said not to be serious, so that's a good thing. But here we go again with John Feliciano. He leaves practice again. Don't know what the injury or what the apparent injury was, but as you can see, it says this is getting a bit ridiculous. Yes. Shout out to G Nation Lou. He mentioned this about Feliciano when we signed him, that he is often injured, and it's starting to rear his ugly head that he continues to go on and off the field with injuries. Yes, we love that dirtbag mentality, but you can't be a dirtbag if you're laying in the dirt. You see what I'm saying? So we have to get these injuries along our offensive line cleared up, man, because our offensive line is suffering in practice. Wink Martindale is having his way. The past 2 days, the offenses look absolutely terrible, no matter if it's the second offense or the first offense. But we have to get some healthy bodies out there on that offensive line, man. Maybe we need to go get another veteran. We'll see. But the other injury updates, Kadarius Toney has been downgraded to not practicing at all this week. Is a high probability. That's I'm not going to say a concern, but that's a disappointment because we all want to see Kadarius Toney go out there and be that number one receiver for us. As mentioned earlier, Shane Lemieux will not be practicing this week, and hopefully it doesn't go into the season. Brian Daboll said we'll see if the injury does affect the regular season. If it does, that hurts us tremendously. As we all know, Andre Miller got hurt. He broke his forearm, and he was making noise at the tight end position, but now he will be gone into the regular season. Hopefully we don't have to put him on injury reserve because he was having a very good camp. Ezeudu said he's working through some things physically. And Ezeudu's probably our primary backup now that Marcus McKeithen is hurt. Gano is hurt. Garcia has not been living up to what we thought that he would be. Shout out to G Nation Lou. He said that as well. It is getting a little bit ridiculous with the injuries again. Also, here is another thing from Dan Dugan. Other people spotted not at practice. Ricky Seals-Jones hasn't been spotted at all since the whole offseason. We don't understand that. Jamil Douglas, his ankle was hurt, and he's been getting bulldozed anyway, so he looks like he's been playing hurt. Who knows? Blake Martinez, Cam Brown, they're not at practice. We all know Dane Belton, he got hurt, and he was out having an outstanding camp. Big Cat Williams, he's not been practicing. So we got, look at the long line of injuries that we had. We had to cut some DBs because they weren't playing well in the game. So we cut a couple of DBs. Gerard Wilson, the safety, was cut. I believe the mergers of Thompson and Yusuf Corker did that. But look at the long list of injuries. Ricky Seals-Jones, Shane Lemieux, Douglas, Blake Martinez, Cam Brown, Leo Williams, Jahad Ward, Ellerson Smith. Man, it's getting ridiculous. Feliciano. These injuries are piling up, man. Tony, Shep. We're going to have to get this in control. Hopefully everything is in control by the start of the regular season. I know we're going to go in with some nicks and dings, but we need this team to be healthy going into the regular season. So these injuries, it's a major concern, man. I mean, man, hopefully Bellinger stays healthy. He's been shining during camp. And Darnay Holmes, I mean, hey, look, and this was a good pick right here by Adoree Jackson to go off on some good news. That was a good pick. But it's been crazy, like absolutely crazy. And as you can see, everybody going through the rough day to offense because the offensive line is not able to show up, and it's not completely on the offensive line being able to show up. Daniel Jones and those guys have to do better on offense as well. But Wink Martindale is having his way with this offense. Dan Dugan says just a brutal day for the Giants offense. Camp stats: Daniel Jones 6 of 19 with 2 interceptions. Adoree Jackson and Darnay Holmes. He's saying just about every play would be a sack if it wasn't for practice. I mean, Kenny Galladay, he's in his own head right now. I mean, it's not looking too good for the offense so far if you base it off practice and training camp. They did show up during the preseason game I think they played pretty well in the preseason game. So we'll see exactly what happens with this offense in the second preseason game. Today, as far as practice, another brutal practice for Daniel Jones and the offense. And Wink Martindale, like I said, he is sending the heat. He doesn't care. He's not worried about that. He's worried about his defense being the best defense they could be, and that's the way it should be. Hey, the offense, you don't want to perform, we're going to keep beating you like a drum until you do perform. And that's going to build character for this team. But as far as the injury concerns, we have major injury concerns going on with this team, especially along the offensive line, and we got to get that fixed. But let's head back into the normal studio. So, New York Giants offensive line major injury concerns, I'm going to give it a yes because over half our guys have something wrong with them along this offensive line, and it's not looking good right now. Wink Martindale, he's not going to let up just because we're injured. He's going to keep sending the heat, and he's going to keep having great practices because our offensive line, we really just don't have the bodies to continue to hold up if it's not the first string, if it's not Glowinski, Evan Neal, and Andrew Thomas. Now we have to find out, can we have a left guard out there, and who's going to be out there? Is it Azudu? Because he's hurt as well. Center position is Feliciano trustworthy. Shout out to G Nation Lou. He mentioned this earlier, even before the season started when we signed him. He mentioned his health concerns, and it's starting to come true. But we will see. But this has been an episode of New York Giants Full Access, New York Giants offensive line major injury concerns. And yes, we do have injury concerns along this offensive line. And we have to get these things patched out real soon because the season is approaching. And I know Giants fans, we do not want another season of bad, horrible looking offensive line play because that's not fair to anybody on this roster. And if we have bad offensive line play again, we're going to have another bad season. That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what it's going to be. So, New York Giants, injury bug happens. We all know how that goes. Hopefully we can get healthy soon, and hopefully we can get back out there and start road grading some people again. But until the next episode of New York Giants Full Access, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to join the Big Blue crew and talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk, hit that Big Blue join button in the description. But until the next episode, you know what it is. Peace. This has been a Big Blue Crew production.